So when it comes to engaging around technology and making that sustainable, like you've been at this game for a long time now, like what's changed in the last decade? What's changed in terms of like the availability of technologies, the abundance of specific kinds of technologies? What costs have gone down? What thresholds have been crossed? Like where do you see new potentials?
Wow, oh, that's big. All right, I might miss one of those, so feel free to hit me again. So the most obvious example is solar. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when I started pushing solar power, I was mostly called names like the pipe dream, hippie, communist, which I always thought was funny. I'm not sure the connection. Those were the responses 20 years ago to solar power, and in part because solar power was well over $8 a watt. Right? So even if you don't know what a watt is, I'm sure but even if the viewers are, it doesn't matter. Just remember $8 a unit, right? So it's over $8 a unit, and so at that price, the payback time was decades.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that $8 is now less than $1 a unit. So what was once over $8 a unit when I first started teaching, actually, even just when I started teaching 13 years ago, it's over $8. Now it's under $1 for that same unit. That's really changed a lot. For instance, we used to do some wind projects up until about 5 years ago. In each of the communities, we were doing small scale wind projects as well. And we've just stopped. It just doesn't end up working out price-wise. If you go large scale, that's a different story. But at the small scale, with solar at under $1 a watt, it becomes a no-brainer. So there's that. There's all types of new rapid prototyping technologies out there. Low cost. Santo Domingo even has a makerspace called the Hub. Where you can go and get access to 3D printers and laser cutters, and then of course the connectivity. The internet has been around a long time, but now through smartphones, the penetration is just really high. It's spread out in the market a lot. So, for instance, Appropedia, a lot of times we used to focus a lot on trying to figure out how to get it onto thumb drives and CDs. Right? But and on the wiki reader, but a lot of communities have somebody who can access the internet, and so that's been another exciting technology for me to watch. I think we're in this with the problems facing the world. There's no panacea, which is bad news and good news. And the good news is that means that we really don't have to be puritanical about anything, and that diverse solutions will actually help build more resilience. And so we could just keep listing new technologies that are looking really promising. For me, though, the technology is almost the easy part. The hard part is getting people to work together, getting people with different needs and different opinions to figure out how to make stuff together. And so, I call myself an appropriate technologist, and that's what people, pay me to come in and teach. But I often wear that just as like a Trojan horse for being a community activist. Or I don't know if activist is a community practivist is probably the right word.